All right, let's talk about something we all deal with every single day: food, focus, and those intense cravings that seem to have a mind of their own. We're going to dive into the science of how what you eat literally shapes how your brain works and what it wants. So, what if I told you that you could actually take control of those cravings? That you could train your brain to want the foods that make you sharper, more focused, and healthier? It might sound a little out there, but the science says it's absolutely possible. So, where do we even begin? Well, it all starts by understanding what our brain really wants on a fundamental level, what it's actually built from. Okay, let's get into it. We're talking about the brain's actual building blocks. These are the essential compounds it needs for top-notch cognitive performance. Before we can even think about fuel, we have to talk about what the brain itself is made of. We're going to break it down into 4 key compounds for brain health. Think of these as the absolute VIPs: essential fatty acids, choline, creatine, and anthocyanins. All right, first up, essential fatty acids, or EPAs. Now, this is super important to get. We are not talking about storage fat here. This is structural fat. It's literally the stuff that makes up the walls, the membranes of your brain cells. And that's a huge deal because the quality of those walls determines how well your brain's electrical signals can fire. And here's the great news. Getting these critical fats isn't that hard. You can find them in things like fish, of course, but also in plant-based options like chia seeds, walnuts, and even soybeans. The goal is just to make them a regular part of what you eat. Okay, number 2 is choline. I love this one. Think of it as the raw material for your brain's own highlighter pen. It helps make a chemical called acetylcholine, which is literally what lets you zero in and focus on something specific. So yeah, if you want better concentration, you need enough choline. So where do you find it? Well, egg yolks are probably the single richest source out there, hands down. But you can also get choline from potatoes, various nuts and seeds, and whole grains. Next, let's talk about creatine. And I know what you might be thinking. Isn't that for bodybuilders? Well, yes, but your brain loves it too. It can use creatine as a direct source of alternative fuel, especially for the parts of your brain that handle things like mood and motivation. You'll find creatine in meat and fish, for sure, but here's the thing. To get to that 5 grams a day dose where you really start to see the cognitive benefits, well, a lot of people find it's just easier to supplement. It's pretty tough to get that much from food alone. And last but not least on our list of building blocks, anthocyanins. These are basically the awesome compounds that give dark berries that deep purple and blue color. And the science is super clear on this. They are great for your brain, probably because they help fight off inflammation. And this one's the easy and delicious part, right? We're talking blueberries, blackberries, black currants. You get the idea. Any of those dark, purplish, thin-skinned berries are just loaded with this stuff. Okay, so we've covered the building blocks, but now for the really fascinating part, cravings. Why do we want the things we want? It goes way, way deeper than just taste. There's some secret science at play here. It turns out there are really 3 main signals driving your food choices. The first one is obvious: taste, what's happening on your tongue. But then there are 2 others that happen behind the scenes: a secret signal from your gut and what your brain has learned to expect from certain foods over time. And this is where it gets really wild. Your gut, it has a direct subconscious line straight to your brain. There is a constant conversation happening between them about the food you eat, and you don't consciously hear a single word of it. So how is this even possible? Well, it's thanks to these incredible little things called neuropod cells. They're basically tiny neurons in your gut that taste the food for you, long after you've already swallowed it. They're sensing the sugars, the fats, the amino acids, the real nutritional value. So here's how a craving gets made, step by step. First, your gut senses something valuable, like sugar. Then, those neuropod cells shoot a signal straight to your brain. In response, your brain goes, "Ooh, good stuff," and releases a hit of dopamine. And that dopamine makes you want to get more of that food. It's a powerful loop, and it all happens without you even thinking about it. Okay, that might sound like we're just puppets of our gut, right? But here's the good news. We can absolutely take back control. We can actually learn to rewire our minds and our bodies. Let's talk about how to do it. To understand how, check out this classic experiment. Researchers brought in 2 groups of people. They told Group A, here's a 620-calorie super indulgent milkshake. Then they told Group B, here's a 140-calorie healthy sensible shake. But here's the catch. It was a trick. Everyone got the exact same milkshake, a 380-calorie shake. The only thing that was different was what they believed they were drinking. And the result? It's absolutely mind-blowing. The people who believed they were drinking the high-calorie shake had a totally different physical reaction. Their hunger hormones dropped as if they just had a huge meal. Their bodies literally responded to the belief, not the actual food. Your mindset can change your physiology. So what does this mean for us? It means you can actually learn to love healthy food. Here's the playbook. On day 1, you take that new food and pair it with something your brain already knows is rewarding. Do that consistently for about a week, and you'll notice it starts tasting better. By day 14, you're literally rewiring your brain's reward system, and a new preference starts to form. And it all comes down to this really powerful idea. What we do regularly becomes reinforcing in and of itself. Your taste preferences aren't set in stone. They are learned, and you can be the one to teach them. So that leaves us with one final thought, one question for you. Knowing what you know now, that you actually have the power to change what you crave and build a better brain, what new healthy choice will you choose to start reinforcing starting today?